Hey girlies, welcome to the I Feel You pod. I'm Jory. If you're done telling your dreams one day, then I'm your girl because I'm gonna help you create a lifestyle worth living. So come grab your coffee, cozy up, let's learn to overcome so we can become. And the best part, we get to do it together. Hey girlies, welcome back to the I Feel You podcast. We are on episode 4 today. As requested from Instagram, we're going to be talking all things girly hormones, specifically cycle syncing. And I am so pumped about this episode. I don't know when or how I got super into this, but I feel like it's so important because there's so much stuff that we have no idea about our bodies. And you don't necessarily have to cycle sync, but I think that it's really good information to have so that we can care for our bodies as women and do and be as most productive as we possibly can. So originally though, I know I've heard cycle syncing all over social media, Pinterest, Instagram, everything. And I'm like, okay, what is it? Because initially my brain is cycle syncing. That means me and my girlies are super close and our cycles are syncing, but that's not at all what it means. So I was looking up some articles, and the one that I got the majority of my information from is on health.com, and it's reviewed by a medical doctor, because I'm not just going to give you guys some random information and junk, because 1, I love you too much for that, and 2, I love myself too much for that to just take any type of information from somebody and live my life that way. So the definition of cycle syncing is the practice of adapting your health and lifestyle habits to fit the 4 phases of your menstrual cycle. For example, you might alter your workout routine, your diet, and even your sex life to match the hormonal changes your body goes through each month. Now, I am going to talk about our diets. I'm going to talk about our physical movement, activity. I'm going to talk about lifestyle stuff, all of that. And I am going to be talking a little bit about the sex life. I'm going to say though, 1, I'm single, so I don't have sex. And 2, all of that stuff, I am pointing towards my married girlies. If you're not married and you're having sex, that's between you and the Lord. I'm not going to tell you to do that. So that's where we are today. The benefits of cycle syncing are 1, it improves your sex life. It improves your athletic performance, your mood, and your overall wellness. And it's also super super helpful for the girlies who are trying to lose weight, they're trying to conceive, or you're experiencing stuff like PMDD, PCOS, endometriosis, or any other disorder that can affect your hormones. So if we can get super basic with it, there are 4 phases, and we go through those phases consistently. So those 4 phases are menstrual, follicular, ovulatory, and luteal. And I'm starting with the menstrual phase. I feel that's the easiest one to kind of talk about. We all know when we're menstruating, we're bleeding, right? We're angry, we're frustrated, we need chocolate, whatever. I know me personally, I always crave cheese and chocolate, not together, but that's when I know it's girlies time of the month. So a typical menstrual cycle usually lasts 28 days, but it can range anywhere from 21 days to 35 days, which is a pretty big jump. I have found out that I am unfortunately one of those 21-day girlies. So every 3 weeks I have my period. And I didn't believe my sister because she was like, why are you always on your period? I was like, no, I'm not. I actually paid attention and started tracking my cycle, and I literally am. So your cycle starts the first day that you start bleeding, but and if you're healthy, it usually lasts 3 to 4 days. I know me personally, I'm a 4 to 5 day girly, which I'm not too mad about. I don't think it's super abnormal. I also just switched my last 2 cycles from tampons to pads, which makes a huge difference, but I'm not going to get super into that because I do want to talk about that next episode. But during the time of menstruation, your progesterone and your estrogen levels are going to stay low because your uterine lining is shedding. And that's like the main focus of the body in this phase, is to rid your body of the uterine lining and the blood, because you don't have a baby in there, so you don't need it. And you're going to feel like way more tired than you normally would because your body's doing so much work. And you might be craving stuff like red meat and chocolate. If you're craving red meat, shocker, you're losing iron because you're bleeding and you need more iron. So you're like, all right, Jory, what should I eat? Thank you, girly. Thank you, the one of you, for asking me that. You should be eating dark leafy greens, nuts, seeds, sea vegetables, bananas, and raw dark chocolate. When I was writing this, I was thinking like, okay, well, what if you don't know what dark leafy greens are or what sea vegetables are? Because your girl would be one of those. I was like, what, like dark lettuce? Like, I don't know what a dark leafy green is. So I did a little bit of research, looked it up for you girlies, so you can write this down, put it in your phone, whatever you're doing. Bok choy. I don't know what it is. I've never had it, but it is a dark leafy green. Broccoli, collard greens, dark green leafy lettuce. So I was right about that one. Kale, mustard greens, the Roman Empire. Romaine lettuce, and spinach. For nuts, I think that's pretty like self-explanatory, but I made a little list just in case, because sometimes when I'm trying to think of something on the spot, it's like anything that I ever knew about that thing just leaves my brain completely, and I'm like, oh, okay, I know nothing. So you have almonds, Brazil nuts, cashews, hazelnuts, macadamias, pecans, pine nuts, pistachios, and walnuts are some options for you girlies. Seeds, I don't ever think about seeds unless I'm like eating a sesame seed bagel, or yeah, that's literally it. But unless it's fall, then I'm eating pumpkin seeds because I really do like pumpkin seeds. But some seed options are pumpkin, flax, sesame, poppy, sunflower, psyllium or psyllium, I don't really know how to pronounce that one, or chia seeds. And then for sea vegetables, there's nori. Not to be confused with me, I'm Jory. But apparently there's a sea vegetable called nori. There's wakame, or maybe it's wakame, I don't know. But in my brain, I'm like, Wakanda forever. There's kelp, there's kombu, arame, sea lettuce. The Spanish in my soul wants to say dulce, but I don't think that's it. It's like D-U-L-S-E. So maybe dulce or dulce. I can't. Forgive me because this next one. Hijiki. Hijiki, and Salicornia, which I can't help but think like California knows how to party. Okay. Anyway, you also want to make sure that you're getting in fiber. Super, super important. I have like this one favorite snack that I make from my meal plan, and it's like a little brownie bowl. It's just Greek yogurt, sugar-free, fat-free chocolate pudding mix, and a fiber brownie. Excuse me. And it's super, super good. And I get my fiber in, and it's chocolate and sweet. So also there's a good amount of protein like in Greek yogurt. Okay, back to my notes. You're getting your fiber in, and you want to make sure you're getting your EFAs, which is your essential fatty acids like avocado, wild caught fish, cod liver oil, hemp seeds, and natto, I think. Listen, there are a lot of words that I looked up and I just don't know how to pronounce them. I looked up how to pronounce one that's in here somewhere later because I just really didn't know, and I should have done it for more of them. But natto, natto, whatever it is. Okay. How do you know if you're buying wild caught fish? That is a great question. So there's an eco label on the packaging, and it has a little blue fish and a check logo. It's basically like an Instagram verified fish. So it's verified by the MSC, which is the Marine Stewardship Council. So that's how you know for sure, like, your fish is wild caught, which is what you need while you're bleeding. Okay. A lot of these foods also are like super high in magnesium, which is what our body is lacking during this phase. And if you're not getting like enough of this food in, you can always take like vitamins, take some magnesium supplements and stuff so that you're getting the stuff that you need in your body. Low magnesium, if you're wondering, like, how do I tell if I have low magnesium? Well, if you're crampy, if you're bloaty and you can't sleep, your magnesium is probably trash. Okay. So if you're a crampy girl, which I very much, like, when I was 16, so I got my period when I was like 12, I think. And I did not have a single cramp until I was 16. And I remember I woke up one morning and I was in so much pain. I was crying. I could barely get out of bed. I was like, I don't know what is going on. And my mom had to like soak a towel in some super hot water and like put it on me. And I was like out for the day. And every period was so painful. I ended up on birth control, which is, we're going to throw that in the next episode too, because I have a bone to pick with birth control. It did what it needed to do when it needed to do it, but it also has a lot of negative side effects. So anyway, if you're a crampy girl, baby, I hate to break it to you, but you got to cut the caffeine. I know. I'm so sorry. Caffeine restricts your blood vessels, which we've got plenty of those in our uterus, and it increases your estrogen, which is what gives us the crampies. And honestly, I love a good chai. I love a good latte. Like, coffee is my love language. I have 6 love languages, okay? And coffee is number 1. But it's not worth all the pain. I promise you it's not. But if you're like, well, I don't get cramps, so I'll take a venti latte. Caffeine can also cause irritability, mood swings, and anxiety when we're on our periods. So argue with me then. Argue with me now. You can't, because you're not here and I can't hear you. So this doesn't necessarily mean that you have to cut your coffee, cut your chai, cut your soda, which, stop drinking soda anyway. It's disgusting. Just be conscious that you're getting a decaffeinated version of your drink of choice. Like I said earlier, we're low in iron, so we can replenish with an iron supplement, with eating red meats, or with some different like herbal options. You can do like herbal teas, make sure that they don't have caffeine in them, some red raspberry leaf infusions, and some stinging nettles. And vitamin B also helps with our menstrual symptoms. And lastly, on our little herbal vitamin supplements, blah, blah, blah train, if you're needing some sleep support, chamomile or lemon balm is going to be your bestie. Lemon balm is also a tea. I had to look that up because I was like, is it like chapstick but it's lemon or something? So it's not. It's tea. Jory, should I work out? Thanks, girly swirly, for asking me. Yes, baby boo. Never stop moving your body if that's what you want to do, if that's how you feel healthy, if that's how you like live your life. You're an active girly. But you do want to avoid any high impact workouts because your body's doing some super extra work. It's killing it. It's getting rid of the lining. It's tearing down the walls because it's like, you don't want a baby. How dare you? So your body's working hard. So you don't want to put more pressure on it. And it's also like your body's trying to regulate your hormones, right? Like you're trying not to be a psycho, and it's like estrogen's here and progesterone's here and testosterone's here and da, 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 da. So no high impact workouts. Try walking, some light stretching. So like personally, what I do usually on like the first and second day of my cycle, I am like a very heavy lift girl. Like I love strength training. I love lifting. So I do kind of get into it like the latter half of my like period. But my first 1 to 2 days, I just do some cardio and I don't go super hard. I'm walking at like an incline at like maybe 2.5 or 3.0 speed. And then I go on YouTube and I look up like stretches to do while you're on your period. And I'll do those stretches and then I'll end with another light walk. And I'm still getting my body moving. I'm still being active. I'm still like stretching and making sure that I don't get super tight and stuff. But I'm not killing my body by lifting super heavy weights when it's already under so much strain. I personally am not like a yoga girly, but I know some girlies do like yoga. And if you are one of those girls, just make sure that you're avoiding the inversions because it reverses your blood flow. And we don't want to do that. We want the blood to flow where it's supposed to flow. Okay. Now we're to the married girlies only section, or single girlies who are going to be married, whatever. It's not impossible to get pregnant on your period, but super, super, super unlikely. And this one, like, if you're listening and you're not watching, I'm doing that little hand thing because my mind was like blown. Having an orgasm during your period can relieve period-related symptoms like cramps and headaches. But don't worry, I won't tell your husband because I'm just going to let that marinate with you when he's asking you. And listen, like I said earlier, I'm a single little Pringle. So my own personal advice for this would be maybe only do that in the shower or get some black sheets or something. I don't know. That's my little salt guy. That's my little seasoning to that. But because your body is working hard, some fatigue is super bound to happen. So this means that you need to be getting 8 to 9 hours of sleep. Yeah, I said it. 8 to 9. Sleep is so important for our health just in general. Excuse me. And even more so when our bodies are in the menstruation phase. So enjoy some restful, non-strenuous activities. If you're a massage girly, and you are, and if you say that you're not, you either never had one or you're lying, because massages are freaking heavenly. I get one literally after every single workout that I do. Getting a massage pre-bleed will help you with the circulation in your body, which you need because your circulatory system has to do with the movement of your blood, and your blood is moving. So get a massage. And lastly, for the menstruation phase, eat warm foods and stay warm. So that means cozy clothes, heating pads, fuzzy socks, comfy blankets, all the cozy, warmy things. Do them. They're good for you. And then we move from menstruation to follicular. The follicular phase starts right after the bleeding stops. So your estrogen and your testosterone levels are rising. Your uterine lining is building back up and the egg is maturing. So nourishing your body in this phase is super key to make sure that those two things go well. We should be eating nutrient-dense foods with lots of protein and healthy fats. Lots of protein and healthy fats. Stop buying muscle milk and God knows what other nasty protein drinks stop. Eat some freaking chicken, okay? Eat some Greek yogurt or something. Just stop buying pre-made protein shakes. They're yucky. Well, then what should I eat, Jory? Thanks, girly. Root vegetables, quinoa, oats, millet. That's the one I had to look up because I was like, that's definitely Malay or millet, but it was neither. It's millet. Lentils, salmon, eggs, nuts, seeds, and oysters. Oysters have a variety of like vitamins and minerals to offer your body, so they're super great. Me personally, I'm a big texture girl. I don't like the texture. It's like, I just can't. It's like a booger. I can't do it. Okay, what are root vegetables? If you already know, you're smarter than me. Well, not anymore because I looked it up because I didn't know. But if you don't know, don't be mad because I didn't know either. So root vegetables are onions. I love onions so much. Sweet potatoes. I used to hate sweet potatoes, and then my friend Amanda made them for me, and basically anything that she's made has been phenomenal, and I love them. So now I like sweet potatoes. Turnips, ginger, beets, bears, Battlestar Galactica. If you know where that's from, I love you. If you don't know where that's from, I still love you. Garlic, radishes, fennel, carrots, turmeric, potatoes, and rutabaga. I've never had a rutabaga, but I like the word. Also, fennel always makes me think of funnel cakes, but that's not the same thing. So, and then lentils are beans, peas, and soybeans, which I have, like, when I'm looking this stuff up, it separates beans and soybeans, and I'm confused because they both have the word beans in them. So I don't really know what the difference is at the moment, but I can do the research if anybody else is confused. Okay. Healthy fats. How can fats be healthy? Girl, look at me. No. They are super important to be consuming too, like ghee, avocado, coconut oil. Try really hard to focus on whole foods, not the store, but because whole foods themselves, they don't drastically increase your blood sugar. And if you're wondering what whole foods are, it's just foods that haven't been processed. So if you live on a farm, I'm moving in with you because I want your Whole Foods. If you don't live in a farm, you actually could go to Whole Foods and get less processed food, or like Trader Joe's or really any grocery store. You just have to be like conscious of what you're getting. You want to sub out your simple carbs for complex carbs. Again, if you're like, what the heck is that? Like I looked it up. Complex carbs are made up of sugar molecules that are strung together in super long strains. And those are things like peas, beans, whole grains, and vegetables. You want to try to incorporate your fats and your proteins in every meal to help maintain a healthy blood sugar level. Okay. So every meal you're eating, get some protein in there or some healthy fats in there, or both if you can. It's just really going to help with your blood sugar. If you have a low blood sugar, you're going to pass out. I know because it's happened to me, but I stayed conscious and just lost my vision, and it was terrible and scary. Eat regular meals with regular meal times, aka plan your meals out like an adult, because you are and you can do it, and then schedule when you're going to eat your meals. Okay? If you can schedule if you can set an alarm for when you're going to get up and set a time for when you're going to go to bed, and you have a schedule to follow for work, you can make a schedule for your food. I believe in you, my girly. You can do it. Okay? Okay. Cortisol, which is your stress hormone, tends to be a lot higher in your follicular phase. So here are some really good foods that are going to calm that down. My goodness, excuse me. Dark chocolate, avocados, citrus fruits, and berries. These, cut the avocados because I'm not an avocado girly. They're really gross to me. I just can't do the texture. But even these all together are really good. Like dark chocolate and raspberry. Oh, baby. I love dark chocolate and raspberry. But here are some elements that don't calm that stress down. And that would be sugar, alcohol, and caffeine. Shocker. Okay, so stop eating so much sugar. Don't get drunk, you silly, silly girl. And I already told you about the caffeine. Okay, are y'all ready? More energy, more passion, more footwork. Okay, your energy is gonna be peaked, baby. So let's hit the vigorous workouts. Let's lift heavy. Let's cardio faster. Let's work out longer. Whatever it is you do, baby boo, make it intense. Like you're going to be ready to freaking go. Okay. Speaking of such, Married girls only section. Your estrogen is rising and your libido is going to have you wanting to libido your husband all the time. Okay. Be careful, because if you're not trying to procreate, you might want to protect, because the closer you get to your ovulation, the more likely that you are to find yourself a child, girl. And if you ain't trying to have yourself a little baby boo, you better figure it out. You know what to do. Okay. And lastly, for the follicular phase, this is a great time for creative projects and to try some new stuff out. Your brain is ready and has some space to like do fun things, do creative things, paint something, find something new to do. And again, if you're a massage girly, this is the time to do deep therapeutic massages. They're going to do your body super good during this cycle. And then we move into the ovulatory phase, or ovulation. So this typically occurs during the middle of your cycle. So if like you're on a 28-day cycle, it's going to be day 14. If you're on like a 35-day cycle, it's going to be day 16. So it really just depends on how long your cycle is. But this is when the egg is released from the ovaries. It's chilling. It's making its way through the fallopian tubes, and then it's in your uterus, and it's like, somebody fertilize me. Okay. So also during this phase, your body temperature increases 0.5 degrees, which seems like it's not that much. But if you're feeling a little warmer, you're not crazy. You're actually warmer. But after the first day of this phase, you might have like a sudden temporary drop in your mood, because there's the high estrogen is like dropping off, and the progesterone is just taking its sweet little time getting back up there. Okay. So estrogen is like cliff diving, and my gosh, help me today. Progesterone is like taking the stairs because the elevator's broken, but it's going to get there. Okay. There's also going to be a surge. Well, just in general, there's a surge in your luteinizing hormone, which literally just stimulates the ovulation in your reproductive system. But because your estrogen peaks in the cycle before it drops off, it's super important that you eat anti-inflammatory foods with a lot of B and D vitamins. And you're like, okay, girly, well, what is that? So quinoa, leafy greens, vegetables, rice, cold water fish, almonds, flax seeds, chia seeds, whole grains, legumes, and lean proteins. And I took the liberty again of looking up some of those food for you girls. So leafy greens are kale, microgreens, cabbage, beet greens, watercress, Swiss chard, arugula. I just have to say it like that. Arugula. Endive or endive, I don't know, and turnip greens. Cold water fish would be tuna, sardines, mackerel, herring, and salmon. Legumes are beans, soybeans, chickpeas, peanuts, lentils, lupins, grass peas, mesquite, carob, tamarind, alfalfa, and clover. Whenever I hear tamarind, I think of like those little orange monkeys. I don't know why. I could be like just a crazy girl, but I feel like that's what they're called. And then I think of alfalfa from like the Little Rascals. Like, dear Darla, I hate your stinking guts. You're the scum between my toes. And then, sorry. We have lean proteins like eggs, tofu, pork, Greek yogurt, lean beef, chicken, cottage cheese, turkey, crab, shrimp, and tempeh. It's super important not to cool your body too much. There's a reason that it's like even hotter than it normally is. So you want to avoid like completely raw meals and just mix up like having some cooked food and some uncooked food, like salads or whatever. You also want to avoid heavy, greasy foods because they're going to make you feel lethargic. Now, I promise you're not dumb if you don't know what lethargic means. Or maybe I'm just the only person who has no idea what it was. So I had to Google that too. And lethargic is just like sluggish, tired, slow, like you just can't really do anything. And in this phase, if you're an herbal girly, take maca, M-A-C-A, which is a root vegetable in the turnip and the broccoli fam a few days before and after your ovulation. And then it can help balance out your hormones a little bit. And because the egg is moving like through the fallopian tubes, it's super possible for you to feel like stiff or sore, like in your hips or your lower stomach or your lower back. So you want to try doing some like hip opening exercises and some stretches to help fight that. Again, YouTube is a super great resource for that. You can still do some light cardio, or not light cardio, I'm sorry. You can get like really good cardio in. It's a great time for like high intensity workouts after you do your stretching, or like some dancing. Go do a little dance party, go do some Zumba, whatever. Okay, MGO, Married Girls Only. Your drive, that thing's in sport mode, okay? You thought follicular was something, but girl, your body is begging for a baby. And if you want it, pretty much like signed, sealed, delivered, the bow's on it, it's yours, okay? But if you don't, then you know what you need to do so that you don't get what you don't want. Also, I was reading and it said there's this herbal medicine, pretty much. It's called shatavari, and it helps support and boost your libido, which I really don't think you'll need because your body already wants the baby. But if you want to be more beto, then you take some shatavari and you're gonna be there. Okay. You'll also probably be feeling a lot more attractive, a lot more confident. So throw yourself a little selfie party, whether it's for social media, for yourself, for your husband, whatever it is, you do it, my girl, because you're gorgeous anyway. But if you feel extra gorgeous, take your pictures. And lastly, for ovulatory, it's a great time to socialize, to meet up with your girly swirlies, schedule a date night, and get a massage. Basically, get a massage all the time. You need one. Or try some acupressure to relieve like the stiffness or the soreness that you might be feeling. And our last phase of the episode, and just in general, is your luteal phase. This phase starts a week after your ovulatory phase, and it lasts until the day that you start bleeding again. So your uterine lining is getting thick with 2 C's, like you, all right? More blood is flowing to the area to bring warmth and all of the good nutrients that your uterus needs. Your progesterone levels are increasing because your body is prepping for a natural nursery, okay? If you're pregnant. Okay, so normally I go through and have all of this stuff edited out when I say stupid, silly things or I mess up, but you're just getting it raw today. That's a terrible thing to say. I shouldn't have said it like that. I'm going to keep reading. If you're pregnant, it'll continue to increase. Your progesterone will continue to increase. If you aren't, your progesterone and your estrogen are like jumping off the cliff because they hate you for not having a baby. In the second half of our cycles usually leave us with lower serotonin levels. What's serotonin? I got you, girly. It's a neurotransmitter involved in emotional regulation. Yeah, baby. Emotional regulation. We love emotional intelligence here. So if you're feeling anxious, a little stressy, a little depressy, that's why, baby boo. Because your serotonin said, I'm Sarah out. Okay? But that's not the end, because you can boost your serotonin. You want to know how? Nourishment, baby. So much of what we eat literally just plays a huge role in our health, mentally, physically, everything. So get some chicken, get some eggs, some fruits, some veggies, some seeds. They all will give you the boost of serotonin that you need. This is why, girls, this is why we happy dance when we get our food, because the serotonin is entering our bodies. Okay? Okay. Also foods that are high in omega-3 fatty acids like salmon or salmon. You want your protein, you want your healthy fats, you want warming foods because they're going to help your body prepare for the hard work that it's about to do. And you're like, girl, what hard work? Well, the next phase is menstruation and your body's working. You also want to eat like brown rice, root vegetables, beans, avocados, ginger, turmeric, and like curries. And obviously this is normally when I would give you a list of foods, but these are all things that I've already told you to eat. So go back, listen, write them down. Excuse me. What you do want to avoid is alcohol and caffeine because they will increase your PMS symptoms and they drain your body of the nutrients that we need for the upcoming bleeding phase. Don't drain your body. We're trying to be good to our bodies. No alcohol, no caffeine. And for my herbal girlies, herbal teas and raspberry leaf infusions are going to help a ton. Burdock root helps remove excess hormones that are built up in the body, and by like gently detoxifying your liver, which is why you don't want alcohol, because that's toxins in your liver, and then you have hormone issues. Okay, so don't drink alcohol right now. You can take Triphala to cleanse and detoxify your digestive tract. And you're like, what do I need to do that for? Like, this is my uterus. Because it helps relieve the constipation and it assists your body's natural detoxification process. Also, if you're feeling like a little bloaty boaty, take and drink yourself some dandelion root tea. Helps so much with your bloating. If you're an active girly, how do you want to move your body? You want light exercise. It's going to help balance your mood out. It's going to help balance out your hormones. You don't want high intensity workouts because your energy is super, super sacred right now because it's probably pretty low. You can do like some low impact strength training or some Pilates. There's been like wall Pilates all over Instagram. I don't know. I don't want to do Pilates. It looks hard. I'll pick up some weights. And my married girlies only. Libido, more like libido don't touch me. Okay? You don't have to swear off sex during this phase. It's still something that draws you and your husband together and closer in your relationship. It can relieve your stress. It can boost your overall sense of well-being. But you're probably not going to be feeling it as much as you were before. Also, because of the way that our bodies work, our natural lubrication, it might decrease in this phase. So it's totally normal. Don't feel weird if like you need a little extra help in that department. Again, my married girlies, you do whatever you need to do. Lastly, you may notice that your body is naturally wanting to slow down and that you're a bit more introverted than normal. If you're already an introvert, you're extra super crazy introverted. If you're an extrovert, you're kind of like, maybe I should see people only 5 days a week instead of 6 days a week. So it's important to listen to your body. Give it the space that it needs to rest and to be away from people if you need to. Try to indulge in some journaling or getting a massage or meditating or just doing some stuff that like brings you joy, brings you rest. And in all of the phases, AKA all the time, you need to be drinking at least half of your body weight in ounces of water. Drink your water. Drink your water. Drink your water. Drink your freaking water. I will come find you and make you drink your water. Okay, love you. Lastly, for this episode, I want to give you girlies a resource. It's called the Lively app, Lively. It tracks your cycles. It suggests activities, workouts, foods to eat. I haven't like completely explored it like in its entirety, but from what I've done so far, I really actually love it. It's like super helpful. I don't really have to think about anything. It kind of gives you everything that I just gave you, but in a little app. It tracks your cycle. There is like a premium that you can pay for where it gives you even like more information and it's super helpful. But I love it. I think you should download it. And then next episode, we'll be touching on whether you should be using pads, whether you should be using tampons, period underwear, cups, the practicals of the menstruation cycle. I want to talk about birth control. I really want to get into this because I think it's so important for us to know our bodies and understand why we are the way we are and how we can be like the best that we can be as women. So That's all I have for you girlies today. I love you. I love you. I love you. I love you. I will see you next time. Thank you for tuning in to today's episode of the I Feel You podcast. If you're looking for resources, you want to reach out to me, or you want to know more, go ahead and follow me on Instagram at ifeelyou.pod. See you girlies next time.